question.
Go ahead.
I don't think it should be a problem, but should you Google to just make sure that the Robitussin with codeine that he took doesn't have a problem with HGC or HGH or whatever it is he takes?
I don't think it does.
Okay. I mean, it's Robitussin, just a bit stronger, so I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But it just hit me because I'm not on drugs, but he is.
I don't think so either.
Okay.
I don't think it does.
Just hitting me. Okay.
Don't let anything else hit you.
Okay. Except shower water.
Turn on the basketball game.
Looking for this for years. Was just the curse.
Skip the bank, skip the paperwork, and go completely online. Securely share your financial info and confidently get an accurate mortgage solution in minutes. Lift the burden of getting a home loan with Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans.
Hi, Travis. How are you?
Back on the Auto Trader pregame show on Fan Night, the great Jackie Robinson was born 98 years ago today. A pioneer and one of the most important figures in the history of American sports. Most of us aren't asked.
Oh, you are Margaret. Okay, excellent. Good to meet you. Thank you for getting in the break. Hopefully these teams yield the Cubs for you.
It's a no-win proposal. They're criticized for not taking stands on touchy subjects, and when they do, told to stick to sports.
Last night the Orioles. Okay, no worries. No worries. Last night the Orioles yielded the Cubs. An $8 team, so I got the Cubs and got Chris Bryant.
University hosted a discussion on sport activism and social change, which included NFL legend Jim Brown.
So that was exciting.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Olympic gold medalist Tommy Smith, and our own Chris Webber, who spoke to the panel's moderator, activist scholar Dr. Harry Edwards, about its theme, Words to Action. In 1968,
All right, hopefully they pay.
on that victory
Just
stage,
grab them out of the store when you're ready.
that wasn't the price. The price was getting there. The exaltation of standing up there was about as frightening you could ever imagine. You're out in the wide open. The national anthem was playing. I had to show solidarity with those who did not have a voice.
When did you first learn your voice could be heard and make a difference? I learned that before I left East St. Louis, Illinois, because I found that in being part of that first generation that went to an integrated high school, when we got out there, they had absolutely no idea what to do with us.
Yeah, it happens.
It became very, very clear that a lot of the mythology that my father had spoke to me about was simply not valid. I mean, the idea is not the color of your skin, but only how well you play the game. But that's not true. Then when I got to California and went into college, they told me you can't major in sociology. You have to major in social work, probation and parole. Sociology is for scholars. You know, you got to do something where you can get a job afterwards. And then as I began to put my sociology together with my experiences as an athlete, where there were no black coaches interviewed, people thought I was insane when I raised the question, why should we play when we can't work? I mean, at that point, but then when you look at the so I began to wake up to a broader analysis of the role of sport in society more generally, not just in terms of black athletes, but the role of sport more generally.
What's up, Keith?
And that's when I wrote my dissertation on sociology of sport.
What can athletes really do? What can they contribute?
Athletes can raise consciousness. A lot of young people really admire athletes. They want to be like them. They're interested in what they're interested in. I know in my life, just reading some of the things that Bill Russell wrote enabled me to understand how I had to approach my activism, and it really helped me get a better idea how to cope, because people didn't want to hear about how angry you were. They wanted to hear what the issue was.
I'm from Detroit, and just because I'm privileged enough to make it to the league to be able to sit on this.
We're almost there, Keith. It's been selling pretty briskly. I anticipate we'll be ripping by 9 o'clock.
We're no better, or we didn't make it out, and therefore we don't have to go back in. We have to continue to spread the word. Hopefully that's what we players, the younger players, will continue to take on the causes and the lessons that those generations have taught us and gone forward.
I went back to the people that I had ready to be able to do certain things that were positive for our young people across this country, and told them that I would reach out to the president. But his people reached out to me, and they liked
That's
me.
crazy. That's a hard card to pull, Keith.
And we've been sitting there with young people across the country ready to do
All right,
the
awesome.
job,
We're happy to have you, man.
violence intervention, deal with education, and to deal with jobs. So consequently,
We've been doing this a long time. We were one of the first people doing
it
this
is what you
out of anybody. We've been doing this
order
just about 5 years
and
now.
take action in making things better for those who can't make them better for themselves.
In our league, we've been blessed to have guys like Bill Russell speak out when he lived in places maybe that didn't accept him. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Spencer Haywood fighting Spencer Haywood, and, so many others. We got coaches, I talk to Coach Popovich all the time about our communities. What would you say to the NBA player about those that came before us? And then what would you say are our marching orders for those that seek to let their voice be heard? I would say, first of all, study that history, because we tend in American society not only to forget that history, but to bury it, because they don't want in mainstream news, historical circles, for people to really understand who Paul Robeson really was, who Jim Brown really was, why they called Bill Russell Felton X when he said Boston, not Mississippi, Boston has racial problems, and understand the history of what's going on, and then bring it right on up into the modern era. Coach Popovich is a jewel. Steve Kerr at the Golden State Warriors is a national treasure, given his family history and the price that his dad paid, and what he is committed to.
As someone who is his family member was a victim of terrorism, having lost my father, if we're trying to combat terrorism by banishing people from coming to this country, by really going against the principles of what our country's about and creating fear, it's the wrong way to go about it.
Even in the midst and in the face of all of that, we cannot lose our humanity. Because if we lose our humanity and lose our ability to cut our fellow human beings some slack in all of their imperfections.
Wow, that's nice. Sometimes they get lucky, man. Last night, like I said, so the guy bought the Cubs for he bought other teams. They happened to buy the Orioles for $8, and it turned into the Cubs, which turned into a Chris Bryant.
They never lost their humanity. I don't care how much they disagreed. They were always willing to sit down across the table and say, "Well, what do you think?"
What did you take away from your time?
I took away so much. I took away, first of all, gratitude for the sacrifices of guys like Kareem, Bill Russell, Red Auerbach, Red Auerbach is a big part hiring the first African American coach. So I took, being grateful to be on the stage with such great men, the sacrifice. I second took the part that activism or speaking out is basically holding true to your identity, holding true to your morals, through your tenets, but at the same time being willing to listen to someone else. And even if you don't find common ground, looking for that common ground a lot of times helps the discussion. And so really want to thank Dr. Edwards for putting this panel together. And what we're going to do is they're going to get athletes together. And so let's say, Matt, you have a concern. We're going to help you work out your concerns, help you work out your thoughts, and maybe be able to present them in a better way, or even concerns in your neighborhood and things like that. So it was just an honor being down there with such great men.
Well, it's interesting. It's one thing to hold to your convictions. It's another thing to go public with those convictions and express an opinion on a touchy subject, on something controversial. How big a leap is that for someone in the public eye?
It's significant, more so in some respects today than, say, in my generation, simply because of the impact of social media and the fact that you can touch so many more people. I think it was powerful just watching that piece, and it's important from an athlete's perspective. It's not about
What? Yeah, I see it. Let me do it, guys. Let me do a reboot. I'll come right back on. Let me just reboot everything. Maybe that'll improve it.
And having a passion about.
All right, just hang tight. I'll be right back. I'm gonna reboot the whole thing.
These guys, because it's not easy to go out on the limb or become political or, to get involved in current affairs for a lot of these guys because they do catch backlash. There's support, but they also have to deal with the heat of that. So it takes a person with strong conviction to be willing to go out and state what their belief system is. And you got to commend Chris because he's got a great heart and a passion for that and wanting to get back, and everybody else up on that stage as well because they fought a lot of wars. Those gentlemen fought a lot of wars for us to have not only these opportunities to work and fulfill our passions, but also to go out and be willing to step out on that limb about something we believe in, even if it isn't popular.